The content of this program is to provide nutritional education information only. The program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you do have options available, and we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to guide us through the best options to obtain and maintain optimal health. And that is the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome, Dr. Wallach, to our Ask Doc Live call.
Well, thank you so much, Nasimia, and thank you so much, everybody else. And appreciate everybody being here. We got a lot of great information today. I've figured out how we can eliminate COVID in about 90 days or less. And, you know, keep your mask on, use our hand sanitizer, use the colloidal silver. Colloidal silver was used as an antibiotic for thousands of years before 1938 when they patented penicillin. And the nice thing about colloidal silver, you can put it on your shelf for 1,000 years and it never goes bad. There's no expiration date. It stays good forever. And so I use it a lot, colloidal silver. I spray a little bit in my throat every morning. I spray a little bit in my throat every afternoon. I spray some in my throat before I go to bed. I put half a dropper full of our colloidal silver with a half a dropper full of our hand sanitizer and mix it up and, do my hands 6 or 8 or 10 times a day with that. And, I'm 82 years old and don't have any problems. And I meet a lot of people every day. You don't shake hands anymore. You do the elbow thing. But flattening the curve isn't enough. Okay. And of course, Dr. Fauci he'll be famous and are infamous for talking about flattening the curve. And everybody gets excited. Okay, it's okay. We're safe now. The curve is flattened. And then they start doing carpooling again and taking their mask off and shaking hands and hugging and kissing each other. And then they all die. And so you have to do more than just flatten the curve. Okay, that gives a false sense of security. And so I started doing some comparisons, and I spent probably about 3 weeks going through the United Nations and the World Health Organization information on this. They have a lot of information that we don't get. And so I started going through it, and there's kind of some interesting stuff. Let's do a comparison between Taiwan and Texas. Everybody knows Texas. Some people know about Taiwan. It's an Asian country. They and Texas have almost the identical population. The difference is Taiwan right now, as we speak, has 589 people infected. Texas just went over 1 million. Is 1 million bigger than 589, Nasima?
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger. Okay.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then when it comes to deaths, Taiwan records only 7 deaths from COVID, and Texas records 19,000. Is 19,000 bigger than 7?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's the difference between Texas and Taiwan? Well, Taiwan is a very, what should I say? It's almost 100% Taiwanese, Asian. And they live on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables and fish. And then you look at Texans, they're something like, in some areas, 60% Latinos from Mexico, who everybody lives on wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Cerveza, which is beer, pan, which is bread, noodles of all kinds, gluten, 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 gluten. And so those little villi in your intestines go away. You cannot absorb things. And you get what's called fibrous dysplasia of your bone marrow, which means your bone marrow gets replaced with scar tissue and fat. Cannot make white blood cells anymore. And the white blood cells, especially the T lymphocytes, are what goes through your bloodstream to kill and eat the virus. Okay. And so the Taiwanese don't have that problem. Their villi are still long and can absorb nutrients to give the bone marrow what it needs to make white blood cells and antibodies to kill and eat the viruses. Whereas the Texans can't do that because they eat gluten. Now let's look at another comparison here. Let's look at Mexico and Japan. They have almost the identical population, about 126 million people. And the Japanese have 1,800 deaths. In Mexico, they have 96,000 deaths. Is 96,000 bigger than 1,800?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
It's like 50 times bigger, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, Mexico has a million infected, and Japan has only 111,000 infected. So it's 10% of what the Mexicans have. What's the difference between Japan and Mexico? Mexico lives on wheat, barley, rye, and oats, flour tortillas, pizza with the gluten crust, a pan, which is their bread, everything they drink, even their vodka, instead of being made with potatoes, is made with wheat. Cerveza, their beer is made with wheat. Now, Japan, on the other hand, has 1,800 dead compared to Mexico's 96,000. Okay, we're very close to 100,000 dead. And Japan has only 1,800 dead. 1 million infected in Mexico and 111,000 in Japan, 10%. Okay. And the difference is the Japanese, like the Taiwanese, are Asians, and they live on rice and sweet potatoes, and the Mexicans live on wheat. Let's look at another comparison here. Let's compare England, the UK with Thailand. Similar population, both have 66 million people.
Mhm.
And Thailand has 3,800 infected and 60 dead, just 60 dead. England, with the same population, has 1.2, okay, 1.25 million infected and 50,000 dead. Now, it's 50,000 greater than 60. Thailand has only 60 dead,
Mhm.
and England has 50,000 dead.
Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Doc, I know you, I love your comparison of villi being like a shag carpet.
That's correct. Okay, and your intestine should look like that. And that's why a 3-year-old, Nasima, when a 3-year-old gets COVID, their body temperature goes up a half a degree. It goes up from 98.6 to 99. You can't even class that as a fever. For 3 days, 4 days, they'll have mild common cold-like symptoms, and it's over with, no problem. None of them die. None of them have to go to the hospital. It's a nothing with them. But a 63-year-old, a 73-year-old, and an 83-year-old, when they get COVID, they're in trouble. They might have to go to the hospital for 2 or 3 months, be on a ventilator. They may even come out with permanent disabilities,
Oh,
and many of
sad.
them will die, depending on the state. 10% might die, or, like Texas is very high, okay? And so what's going on here? Well, gluten causes those villi to go away, and a 3-year-old's only been on gluten for 2 years. And so they haven't lost their villi yet, because it's not an all or nothing thing. It's not a light switch off and on. Okay.
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
like
mhm.
drip, 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 drip. And one of the external signs that you have a problem, you get skin problems, you get eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, you get bowel problems, you get ulcerative colitis, celiac disease, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease. And of course, doctor, oh, you've got lupus, you have an autoimmune disease, we're going to have to put you in the hospital. No, you get off of gluten, you take your 90 essential nutrients, your 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And well, my doctor said I can get everything I need by eating well. Well, any doctor who says that, Nasima, should be put in jail for being a serial killer. Okay, because you cannot get everything you need from your food, guaranteed, because nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver and coal and oil. They also do something funny, okay? When you look at a farmer, does a farmer get paid by the nutritional value of the food he sells and grows, or does he get paid by the tons and bushels per acre?
Tons and bushels per acre.
Tons and bushels per acre. So the fertilizer companies know that. So they sell him a very economical fertilizer with 3 nutrients in it: NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, which is all the plants need to make good seeds for the next generation and maximize tonnage. So all you can guarantee, even if you're using the same recipe that your grandma used and she lived to be 114, but let's say she lived in Canada and you live in Texas, you're in trouble. Okay.
Absolutely.
And for a doctor to say, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need, would be like your mechanic saying, I know you love your Jaguar and I know you want 300,000 miles out of it, but don't waste your money on buying oil for your Jaguar. just put dirt from Texas in there. There's bound to be some oil in that dirt from Texas. Now, how many, an insane idiot wouldn't do that to their car?
Mhm.
But when a doctor says, you can get everything you need from your food, people stand on the table and they beat their chest and they say, well, my doctor says I can get everything I need by eating well. You're going to die. You better start shopping for a coffin. Okay. Let's see here. Again, you know, when you look at Canada, let's look at Canada and let's see, Canada and who else is close to them? Let's change. Let's look at India. You know something about India, right?
Yeah, a
Let's
lot
look
of
at
population.
Yeah, 1.4 billion, almost the exact same population as China. Now, let's look at the comparison of China, 1.4 billion people, and India with 1.4 billion people. China has 4,700 dead, and India has 128,000 dead. China has 91,000 infected, and India has 8 million infected.
Oh my goodness.
Is 91,000 less than 8 million?
No. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a story in India. Here's where I spent 3 weeks with the World Health Organization, okay? Spent 3 weeks with them, going through their data and the World Health Organization and the UN. And I said, okay, there's 29 states in India and 7 territories. See, I know that.
Mhm.
Now, so do they have equal amounts of deaths and infections in every one of those 29 states? And they looked
No.
it up and they said, no. They said, okay, here's what's happening. In the top third, the 9 top tier states in India have 95% of the deaths and 86% of the infections. The bottom 2/3 of India, which has 20 states and the 7 territories, only have 5% of the deaths and only 14% of the infections. So what's the difference between the top 1/3 of India and the bottom 2/3 of India? Same people. So what's the difference? The difference is in the top tier of India, they live on wheat because they live in the mountainous and hill area. They can't grow rice because it's not tropical and warm. And so they live on wheat, barley, rye, oats. Of course, a big influence from England and, you know, during the days. And so they eat a lot of wheat. And in the southern 2/3, 20 states and the 7 territories, they only have 5% of the deaths and 14% of the infections. Okay. And what's the difference? Well, the difference is that people in northern India eat wheat, barley, rye, oats. In southern India, they eat rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables. That's the difference. And so it's a big, big difference in susceptibility and also percentage of deaths. And so it's one of those things when you start looking at this, and this is not just 1 or 2 countries, this is every Asian country lives much longer and has fewer deaths, fewer infections than European influenced countries and North American influenced countries that live on wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay, and so there's a huge difference. And so there's where the difference lies, because rice and sweet potatoes do not cause the villi to go away. Okay, whereas wheat, barley, rye, and oats, the gluten in there makes the villi go away. Okay, so I knew this back the last pandemic we had, which was about between 5 and 8 years ago. We had an epidemic or pandemic. It was called SARS, MERS, and H1N1. And Dr. Milan and I wrote a book called Hell's Kitchen. Okay, and we looked at the cause, prevention, and cure of obesity, diabetes, and the metabolic syndrome, which is high blood pressure and heart disease and liver disease and kidney failure, muscular stuff, brain stuff, dementias, because they're all nutritional deficiencies. And the people who have these pre-existing conditions are the ones who get the more serious COVID infections and die at a bigger percentage because they cannot absorb the nutrients. So this is not very difficult to figure out. If everybody in America would get off of wheat, barley, rye, and oats and live on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables like an Asian, and take the 90 essential nutrients to give their bone marrow what it needs to make white blood cells, antibodies, red blood cells, and platelets, there'd be no problem. Now, Nasima, you know, because you deal with so many people in your longevity business, you know people that go to the doctor once a month or once every 2 months for an iron shot or a B12 shot because they're anemic. And no matter what they do, they're still going to be anemic because they cannot
Right.
absorb these nutrients through their intestines. So they got to go around it by giving them injections, right?
Yes.
Also, people that once every month or two have to go in for a transfusion so they can get red blood cells and platelets
Yes.
because they can't absorb the nutrients for their bone marrow to make them. Okay, so why let the doctor milk you like a cow and you're going to die of COVID when you can get off of all the wheat, brown rye oats and live on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables like an Asian, take your 90 essential nutrients. Your villi will grow back in a couple of months. Okay, begin to absorb those nutrients. Your immune system will be way up there. Your own bone marrow will produce what it's supposed to do and be your immune system. And the biggest cause of death in COVID is not a viral respiratory thing, which is what doctors treat you for. Okay, people die from hemorrhage and blood clots because they can't get enough platelets and they can't get enough red blood cells. Okay, and so if you do everything right, and again, I go back to Hell's Kitchen, and if you look at the countries who live the longest, we picked 10 of them, we put them in a book called Immortality. They avoid the bad stuff and they do the good stuff because that's where their cultures are. Even though we have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, we spend more money for healthcare than all the countries in the world combined, Nasima, and yet we only rank 41st in longevity. There's 40 other countries who live longer.
That's pretty sad, Doc.
Well, it's criminal. Okay, it's criminal. Sad is too kind a word. It's criminal. Okay, now, here comes Black Gene Lies, the book and the CD. Now, right now, everybody knows that the Black community has a higher rate of infection and higher rate of deaths from COVID than white people. Okay, why is that? Is it a genetic thing? No. Well, what is it? Well, Black people live on wheat. They drink wheat, beer and whiskey. They eat wheat, okay? Flour tortillas. They eat spaghetti every Wednesday night, spaghetti factory, and they eat a lot of bread and pancakes and waffles and crackers and cookies and pie and cake, oh my, okay? And so if they would eat like Asians, instead of the Southern eating, Southern cooking, fried everything and wheat everything from the Southern cooking, and you'll see that the infections and the deaths in the Black community will go down to nothing. But if they continue to eat the same way that their relatives who may or may not have been slaves in the old South, eating the old Southern cooking stuff, right? That's going to get you killed. Okay, that's why Texas, between the Latinos and the Southern cooking, they're in trouble. Okay, and when you look at Mexico, I mean, it's awful, their numbers. Okay, and so we have the ability to eliminate this very quickly if everybody would just get off the wheat, barley, rye, and oats in any form, whether it's beer or whiskey or, I eat pizza 3 nights a week, but I get the pizza that's made with a cauliflower gluten-free crust. Okay, and I get double cheese, I get anchovies on there, I get tomatoes, I get chili peppers, which also have some great antioxidants in it, and it's amazing. Well, then we have another book and CD set out now called Epigenetics. I'm considered, along with Bruce Lipton, one of the 2 fathers of the science, because my thesis, Nasima, when I did 20,000 autopsies, was given $25 million by NIH to do this study. I did 20,000 autopsies and I showed there are no genetically transmitted diseases, there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And guess what? My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure.
Wow.
Now I'm going to tell you 2 quick stories here. It's just, I mean, I get crazy when I tell these stories. This one is about a woman by the name of Lauren Knievel. She was the niece-in-law of, she still is, the niece-in-law of Evel Knievel, the daredevil on his motorcycle and so forth. Okay. And she called me, oh gosh, it's got to be 1997 or 98, something like that. And she says, Dr. Wallach, I'm pregnant. I'm 2.5 months pregnant. And they say by looking at my embryo with a ultrasound and also a triple screen, that my baby, my embryo has a terrible, really severe case of Down syndrome. Everybody wants me to get an abortion because this is really bad. I don't want to get an abortion. I said, well, I don't have any experience with this. And she says, well, I don't care. Let's try something. If the baby's born with Down syndrome, I'll raise it and love it, but I'm not going to get an abortion. Okay. So we sent her overnight, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Okay. And she took it for the rest of her pregnancy, and little Noah Knievel was born perfectly normal. I have a picture of him now. He's in a military uniform at age 22. He's in the Army Reserves at the University in Omaha, Nebraska, studying engineering, perfectly normal, no Down syndrome. Now, here comes another Down syndrome case, Ben and Wendy. Okay, they were born to two families 300 miles apart in Texas. Nobody knew anybody, but over time they kind of moved together because of the jobs and so forth. They went to kindergarten together as kids, and the mom and dad began to give them vitamins, minerals, not ours, but gave them vitamins, minerals. When they were 18, they began to get ours, okay, and they got married at age 20, and they just celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary, and he just retired. Ben Erdman is his name, Down syndrome. He just retired from Texas A&M. He was the main guy in their data entry division of the engineering school in Texas A&M. He just retired. And Wendy, she's gonna retire next year. She is his wife, of course, and she also was born with Down syndrome. Because she's been on her stuff for, gosh, 25 years or more. She was the head of the advertising part of Chick-fil-A in Texas. Okay, these are not things that the average Down syndrome kids are going to be able to do. Okay, and so the point that I'm getting at it here, there are no genetically transmitted diseases, but you know, if you're born with a cleft palate, you're going to need surgery, but cleft palates are preventable. Now, guess what vertebrate species has the highest rate of sickle cell anemia?
Humans?
Well, people say, you know, in the Black community, it's supposed to be a disease, a Black gene from Central Africa. Well, deer of every species around the world has the highest rate of sickle cell anemia of any vertebrate.
Oh my.
Now, white people, yeah, white people also get sickle cell anemia, but because they didn't, they say, well, how could all these white people get a Black gene? So we'll call it thalassemia in white people. The same sickle cell anemia in white people is called thalassemia, and Black people is sickle cell anemia, and all these deer species is sickle cell anemia. But it's all caused by a nutritional deficiency when the bone marrow cells are forming in the embryo that make hemoglobin. And that's why you get, some people have 2% sickle cells, some people have 5%, some 10%, some 25%. And you know, a genetic thing would be all or nothing. But because there's a gradient, it depends on how deficient they were of that nutrient when the bone marrow cells were forming in the embryo that make hemoglobin. So anyway, it's all preventable. And so again, Pastor Creflo Dollar, I saved his daughter, who is supposed to have a genetic form of asthma in Black kids, saved her. And she's given him 3 grandkids without asthma. And he paid for the first 10,000 copies of this book, Black Gene Lies, to be published, because he asked me, are there any genetic diseases in Black people? And I said, no, sir. No, it's just how they eat. If they would eat, you know, the same as white people, they get all the same disease as white people. If white people eat the same way the Black people eat, they get all the diseases Black people get. Okay. And he understood very perfectly. So at any rate, 90 essential nutrients, a healthy brain and heart pack. And of course, you want to take things that are going to support the immune system, including fucoid Z radical, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes here, or maybe an hour. But also, you want to think about the pollen burst. You want to talk about the cell shield RTQ, killer biotic. Okay. I'm taking all these things. I'm 82 years old. I see, you know, 50 people a day and don't have any COVID problems. I don't have any health problems. I've had injuries because I'm very active. But other than injuries, I don't have diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease and liver disease and kidney disease and dialysis and fibromyalgia. And I don't have any of that stuff. And yet I'm 82 years old. And it's not because of genetics. It's because for 72 years, I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients and staying away from gluten. So there you go. And I'm going to pass it back to you. And I do want to give out one thing here. I do want to give out one thing, and that's my website. If people want to look at my books and things, my CDs, www.drjwallach, www.drjwallach.com. It's all lowercase. Back to you, dear.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you so much for all that great information as always. I just want to remind everybody, if you have a question and you have joined this meeting via the Zoom meeting, you can raise your virtual hand or you can type in text in the chat. So when you've joined the meeting, make sure you click on chat so you can see the chat and raise your hand, etc. Key pieces of information to ask Dr. Wallach when it's your turn is your age, your weight, your height, your key symptoms, and any medications that you've been given or any diagnosis you've been given by the doctor. Please stay to the point as we get many, many questions and we want to cover and give everybody a chance that has joined. If your questions do not get answered today, you can send an email to doc@askdoclive.com, or you can visit the website askdoclive.com and click on the contact us and fill in your question there. Another key point that I want to let everybody know is we have great information posted by all our co-hosts in the chat. Please take a quick snapshot of it if you've got a smartphone, or jot down and write down the information in there. However, when you're asking your question, we do want you to pay attention to the answer and information that Dr. Wallach is providing and listen to that attentively. You can always go back to askdoclive.com and listen to the recording of today's meeting and the prior meetings, and then you can rewind, forward, pause, make your notes, share that file with family and friends and more. To health, to all our good health support. If you are a first-time customer and would like to order and get on the protocol that Dr. Wallach recommends, please give a phone call to our phone team, which is very knowledgeable, at 855-949-7234. That's 855-949-7234 for first-time customers or those who want to join our team as distributors for the business opportunity, particularly during these COVID times. As Dr. Wallach has explained, we need to increase our immune system, the ability of our immune system to fight off bugs, viruses, bacteria, even more. So we need to provide good health support. You can do it as a business, share with everybody as people are staying home more, and make side income potentially by taking care of your health and sharing the word with everybody else. Now, if you are an existing customer or distributor, please contact the Corporate Longevity Office at 800-982-3189, or contact your upliner who invited you to this meeting for any questions you may have on the business or ordering products. With that, Doc, are you ready to take some questions?
I take my 90 essential nutrients to stay away from gluten. I am ready.
Awesome. 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 Okay. We see a hand that's raised by Simon Human, and I want to apologize in advance if I mispronounce anyone's first name or last name. I'm not doing that deliberately. I'm trying my best here. So Simon, if you want to unmute yourself, please, and ask your question to Dr. Wallach. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Andy P. Please
Here I am.
Okay,
Hello?
Simon. All right, Simon, go ahead.
Yes, I have actually two questions. I am 55 I weigh 197. I'm 5'5", and I have a chronic cough and vision issues, and just big appetite.
Okay. So, do you have any ringing in your ears? Do you have a tinnitus, like the noise?
Do not have that.
Okay. What about balance problems?
Yeah, I do get vertigo once in a while.
Okay. And let's see, do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
A little bit of dry skin.
Okay. And then what about bowel problems? Any constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, celiac disease?
I do have, yes. I'm either one or the other. I'm going or I'm not going.
Okay, so let's just say gut problems.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you have serious advanced gluten issues here.
Okay.
And so everything you have is a nutritional deficiency. The vertigo is caused by a squeezing of the vestibular branch of the eighth cranial nerve by your skull, because you have osteoporosis of the skull. So I want you to get a hold of the book. It's all in your head. Okay. It goes into the 25 different diseases you get when you get osteoporosis of the skull.
Okay.
Do you have any numbness or pain or tingling in your fingers or thumbs or your arms or your wrist?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have what used to be called Erb's palsy. It's now called Wallach's palsy. That's also a squeezing of the spinal cord as it comes out of the back of your skull. Okay. And that's also can contribute to the vertigo.
Okay.
And then the vision stuff. Okay. Are you slowly losing your vision?
Yes, it's getting worse.
Okay. Yeah, this is a squeezing of the second cranial nerve, which your optic nerve, as it's formed in the brain, comes through the skull to the back of the eye. And when you have osteoporosis of the skull goes from a normal thickness of 1/4 of an inch to an inch thick. And all these tunnels that the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in the spinal cord go through get filled up with the scar tissue and begin to get squeezed. And that's why you have vertigo. You have ONA, optic nerve atrophy, because your skull is squeezing it. You have gluten issues because you're eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And that's, even if you were supplementing, you couldn't efficiently absorb. And that's why you have everything from skin problems to eye problems to balance problems to vision problems. Okay.
Okay.
And okay, so what I need you to do is get rid of all the gluten. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no sugar. And then at 197 pounds, you're going to begin to lose weight when you get rid of all that bad food. But let's just say I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I want you to add our MSM to that. Get 1 bottle of our MSM. It's a big bottle, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. And that will help rebuild bones, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, skin, gut walls, and all that kind of stuff. And then I also want you to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count.
Okay.
Certainly fried eggs are a triple negative. So no fried eggs. You can have soft-boiled, soft yolks, soft poached, soft yolks, soft scrambled in butter. This morning for breakfast, I had rice and sweet potatoes. I had 3 soft-boiled eggs with soft yolks. I had yogurt. I also had, let's see here. There was something else I had. I had smoked salmon from Alaska.
Okay.
And of course, okay, I had my drink, okay, because I'm taking my 90 essential nutrients. So I had my drink, which I call juju, which is what witch doctors in Africa call their secret medicines and herbs. They call it the juju. Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I call my drink from longevity the juju. Okay.
And what about Greek yogurt? Is that good?
It's got to be gluten-free and sugar-free. You got to read the label and make sure
Okay.
it's gluten-free and sugar-free. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Question number 2. Or did we get them all?
Yes, my husband, he is 6'4", about 197. Well, I think he's 205 now. He's 54, and he got diagnosed with diabetes type 1 about 15 years ago.
Okay, well, the doctor's a liar. There is no such thing as type 1 diabetes in a 50-year-old person. Type 1 diabetes is something a baby's born with because mama didn't have enough nutrition to make enough beta cells in the islets of Langerhans and the pancreas. Babies are born with type 1 diabetes. When they don't respond to, and I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background. When an adult who's even if they're 15 years old or 25 years old or 35 or 45 or 55, like your husband, when he first got diagnosed with diabetes, they'll give them, usually they will give them pills to take first. They don't get any response. They say, oh, you have type 1. And then they'll give them an injection of insulin. Boy, their blood sugar drops like a rock because they're going around the intestines. Well, your husband has a gluten problem also. He cannot absorb the oral medications. That's why he had to take insulin injections. Okay. So he needs to be on 2 healthy brain and heart packs also, a full dose of everything twice a day, and have him take 2 bottles a month of our sweeties. He could take 3 at breakfast and 3 at dinner time. He needs to also get a bottle of glucogenic so he can take 3 of those at lunchtime. Take his blood sugar every day like he's supposed to. And as the blood sugar comes down, he can slowly reduce his medication based on the numbers. Don't cold turkey off the medication. Even though it's insulin, but he can adjust the dosage based on the numbers, just like he's been taught to do. And it doesn't take long. You know, I take people who've been drop dead brittle diabetics for 30 years, and in 30 days they're ex-diabetics. So if he does everything right, okay, and he gets rid of all the bad stuff so he can maximize absorption, it takes about 60 to 90 days for the intestines to heal and all those villi to come back, okay? And then he's going to be taking these oral things, and so his blood sugar should begin to drop, and so he can reduce his medication, his injectable insulin, based on the numbers, okay?
Okay. They said his pancreas is dead. Is that possible?
Well, did they tell him to take digestive enzymes?
No.
His pancreas is not dead.
Okay.
They're just giving him what I call crapola science.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I kind of thought, but this. Yeah, I would think if something was dead in you, you'd
be dead. Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you couldn't digest your food, and everything would be coming out. Say, well, that's the steak you ate yesterday. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay. Well,
okay.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Simone, if you would give us a call every 2 weeks and give us an update, because you're going to save a lot of people with your testimony on yourself and your husband. Okay.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Simone. Please mute yourself. Before we go to the next question, I want to remind everyone that these meetings are recorded and posted on askdoclive.com, so you can go listen to the information Dr. Wallach has provided for your specific question. Also note that when posting your question in the chat, please post it to everyone so everybody can see it, as the question is going to be asked on air, so to say, to Dr. Wallach. So, and another reason is that way all our co-hosts can see the question. If you do post it privately, only that person sees, and if there's computer glitches or something, it can get missed. You can also send your questions to if we don't get to them, by going to askdoclive.com, contact us, and there's an email address where you can email your questions. We'll make every attempt to answer as many as we can. Also, when you post your questions, please keep it to the point and put all the pertinent information, if possible, in one comment text, because we've got so many to filter through. We may miss some parts of it. Okay, with that, Andy P., you've got your hand raised. Please unmute yourself and ask Dr. Wallach. Andy P.? Okay, we need to move on.
I'm here. It's just
there you go.
On mute. Am I here?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Only your right eye.
Yeah.
I am 65 years old, 6'1", about 205, and wanted to ask what products I should be and protocol I should follow to try to heal a couple of root canal issues. Tooth number 20, I guess, lower left, and maybe 30 lower right. I'd like to avoid a root canal because I don't know all the procedures to prevent getting poison when they drill down in, and they're not always successful. But
okay, well, let's stop there. Okay, let's stop there. Do you have any diabetes or high blood pressure?
No, sir.
Do you have any varicose veins in your legs?
Nothing that bulges.
Any spider veins?
Possibly around, I've had them for 40 years, maybe around my back of my knees a little bit.
Sure, okay. And any hemorrhoids?
No, sir. A slight, what do you call it? Where your stomach bulges down the right of your lower abdomen.
Okay, you're talking
Hernia.
about
Yes, slight
hernia?
hernia.
Okay.
Yes,
mhm,
it's no big deal.
Okay. And do you have any arthritis or noisy joints?
No, just a slight. I had arthroscopic on my left knee and maybe '06, and my right knee is stiff unless I put a circulation magnet on it overnight while I'm sleeping.
Okay.
But I do have ringing in my ears, docs, for 50
Okay, you
years.
have tinnitus. Okay. Yeah, well, tinnitus goes along with the dental problems. Okay, because you have osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, and
Wow.
the reason I was asking about the varicose veins and the spider veins is because you do have, I don't know if that's gray or silver. I can't tell because all I can see is your sunglasses. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you need to turn your head to the right and left so I can see here the color of your hair. Yeah, you got some
Well,
gray
it's
in there.
probably from all the sun in the Virgin Islands where I worked for 5 years and also swimming in
No.
chlorinated pool.
No, it's from a deficiency of a particular nutrient.
Copper, 10 milligrams a day, right?
Well, that's one of them for sure. Okay.
You told
But I don't
George
want
Noy
anybody,
that about
yeah,
3 years ago.
yeah. I don't want everybody just licking their copper pipes underneath the sink. Okay. Now you said you weigh 205 pounds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I don't know that we'll be able to save your teeth, but you do have osteoporosis of the skull, and that's why you have dental problems. That's why you have a hernia. That's why you have knee issues. That's why you have gray hair. That's why you have, you have all kinds of stuff going on here. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears. And so at 205 pounds, I want you to get rid of the bad stuff to maximize absorption. Absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, and oats, no sugar. And then I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month is our biggest hammer in the toolbox. It's going to cover a lot of territory. I do want you to get 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal, MSM. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, and also hernias. But you still have to wear the pad and the belt to hold everything in while that hernia is healing, so otherwise it won't heal. Okay. Then I also want you to take vitamin D3. I want you to take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. I want you to take our collagen. You can take our glucogel, take 2 bottles a month of the capsules, and take 15 of those a day. It'll also help you rebuild all this connective tissue. And I get some other opinions from a different dentist about your teeth. Okay, and get back to us on that. But if you do these things, it will tighten up your jawbone, which is part of your skull. And you're a guy also who needs to get a hold of the book called "It's All in Your Head," where it goes into all the diseases you get, including tinnitus and dental problems. Even teenagers, they have to go to an orthodontist because their teeth are wandering around because they already have osteoporosis of the skull and the jaw. And so that's why they go to an orthodontist. Okay, it's not just their teeth are wandering around, it's because they already have osteoporosis of the skull and the jaw. So at any rate, give us a call every couple of weeks and, let's save some people with your testimony.
If I had a second question about a neighbor has about a 25-pound little mongrel dog, mixed breed, but Buddy the dog lost his ability to walk. He was listless and laying on his side. She took him to a veterinarian who said he has a slipped disc, although they didn't do a MRI or X-ray or anything.
Yeah, you can pretty much tell by an examination, but basically a 20-pound dog needs to make sure that the dog food doesn't have any gluten in it. And then I would give it 1 scoop of the, you need to pat your dog or something so you're not whimpering. Okay.
Yeah, he's outside of it, his veterinarian. He just developed some skin lesions on his left and right rib cage.
Okay, well, you need to look and read the label on the dog food. Make sure there's no gluten in there, no wheat, no barley, no oats, because yeah. And then per 20 pounds of body weight, give your dog and your neighbor's dog 1 scoop per 20 pounds of body weight. So if his dog weighs 20 pounds, that's 1 scoop of the Arthrodex and 2 or 3 of the EFAs. And how much does your dog weigh?
Barney, the American Staffordshire Terrier, weighs about 65 pounds.
Okay, then he needs, let's see here too. I'd go ahead and give him 3 of the scoops of the Arthrodex, and again, 3 of the EFAs. And it wouldn't hurt to throw in some of for both dogs, also give them some of those glucogel capsules. You just open them up and put the powder in their food, okay? Call
I
us
had
in
him on
2
a whole
weeks.
can of Arthrodex. He did that since I joined Longevity, but then I
Mhm.
ran out and I didn't reorder it, and bam, he got the skin lesions from his Purina Pro plan.
Well,
with
he's
salmon
man's
and
best
rice.
friend. Take good care of him. He needs more Arthrodex.
Yes. All right, so
Okay.
that's what it is. Thank you so much,
That's
doctor.
you bet.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Please
Thank you,
mute
Mary and Largo.
yourself. Yes, thank you. Please mute yourself, Andy. I just want to remind it to everyone, when we say raise your hand to ask a question, we're talking about the virtual hand, which you can access by clicking on participants. So as soon as you join the meeting, those of you joining through the Zoom meeting, click on participants and chat, so that way you can get to see the blue hand. And also, Ruth Ellen, who's our co-host, has posted in the comments a YouTube showing you information about Zoom. So please, take a snapshot of that or write that website down. And, that could be your homework before next Friday's call. So things may be smoother. So we don't want anyone to get frustrated. We want to get to everyone's questions. I'm going to take turns between the blue hands that are raised and comments, questions that are posted in the comments. Going to Yolanda McKee. If you're able to unmute yourself, please do. Your question that Yolanda has for you, doctor, is she can't walk. She uses a wheelchair and a walker with a lot of help, and she's 65. That's unfortunately not enough information you provided to us here, Yolanda. If you're, yeah.
Well, let me just quickly get to that one and we can go on to the next one after that. 65 years old, let's go per 100 pounds of body weight. She has trouble walking. I'm assuming that she has something like sciatica, where she's got low back issues. Maybe if she's 65 years old.
Yeah, I have arthritis, they said, in my back, and also some of my discs are herniated. And degenerative.
How much you weigh? How much you weigh?
130.
140. Do you have any diabetes or high blood pressure?
High blood pressure.
Okay. All right. Get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats. At 140 pounds with these issues, I'd go ahead with 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. I would also get 2 bottles a month of the sweeties. You can take 3 of those twice a day to support healthy blood sugar. Don't cold turkey off your medication if you have diabetes, okay? High
No
blood pressure.
diabetes.
Okay, good. I want you to take, for the high blood pressure, I want you to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can get 2 bottles a month of that, so you can take 3 of those twice a day, and they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And then I also want you to take the MSM. Go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day, and it'll be 1 bottle a month. And they will support healthy maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. They'll help regrow those discs. Then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our glucogel capsules. So you can take 5 with each meal. They will also be the structural material to help rebuild your disc and your cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. You know, we take people all the time. They're in wheelchairs and can't walk, and a miracle happens. And of course, we have a new CD set out that's available now. It's called the Wallach Corpus. And the Wallach Corpus goes into these kind of things, which goes back to the Bible days when people couldn't walk and they were given, by the prophets and the Magi and the apostles and so forth and so on. They would be given dirt and mud from certain areas and herbs and things, and they could cure them. Okay. Well, we do the same thing. We know why and how it works and so forth. But we put all this into, again, a 2 CD series called the Wallach Corpus into these very common health issues, because nothing has changed in modern medicine for 2,300 years since the Hippocratic corpus. When Hippocrates wrote a corpus, he started the first medical schools, and that's why he was considered, he's still today considered by doctors as the first medical doctor, okay, the original guy who started medicine as we know it today. Well, it's been the same for 2,300 years. Now they have new equipment to diagnose diseases. They have new antibiotics to kill bugs, but the principles that they use have not changed. So I came up with the Wallach Corpus to replace the Hippocratic Corpus, okay? And so somebody like yourself, if this is, it's not from trauma, you weren't run over by a car and all this kind of stuff, and you have degenerative disc disease and bulging disc and all that kind of stuff, and high blood pressure, these are all nutritional issues. They can go away in weeks, okay? I take so many people, and we're coming out with a book with 100 of these cases, and so you might be one of these cases in this book of 100. It's gonna be called The Greatest Stories Ever Told, after the Bible, which is the greatest story ever told. And the Wallach Corpus, 2 CDs that will go along with it. And, I'll give you an example of blindness. In the Old Testament, it said, one of the prophets asked this person, he said, were you a sinner? And the guy said, I don't know, but I was blind and now I can see. So the people who, I had a bet with a eye doctor that I could actually reverse blindness in people, who had macular degeneration. Make a long story short, I reversed 27 of his own patients, so he couldn't argue about the diagnosis. And so that would be just with nutrition. And they were legally blind 6, 8, 10 years. So that would be something that would happen, during the days of Moses and Jesus and Paul and Noah and so forth, because they would use the soils and dirt that had all these minerals in it and would heal people. Okay, and those were revelations and things. It's great stuff. And so I'm picking things out of the Old Testament and the New Testament that relate to these various miracle stories that we're going to present in this book, and we've already put into the CD set. Okay, it's called the Wallach Corpus, which is now replacing the Hippocratic Corpus. Okay, and so I'm not arrogant. It's just it's one of those things where, we've gone along with these guys for 2,300 years, and they haven't changed anything. They're still calling nutritional deficiencies genetic diseases. So it's time for a formal change. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Please mute yourself. Couple of things here. Also is, I was mistaken. The YouTube that my co-host Ruth Ellen had posted was in the waiting room for you to know how to change your name. That is a requirement for everyone joining the call. We do want your first name and last name. And if you're dialing in by phone, we do want to see the full phone number. The other item that I wanted to talk about is the virtual blue hand can be raised by going to participants. Click on participants and you'll see an option right there on the screen that pops up, or you can type in your comments. The other thing, Doc, for humans and pets, once the condition has gone better and is supported, at a minimum, you recommend that everybody needs to be on the 90 essential nutrients, even when they're feeling well, kind of like the gas tank being refilled each day. Is that correct?
Yes, as long as people need oxygen, which means they're still alive. There are no tissues, even bones go away every day. And so they need to be replaced. And the stem cells do require raw materials to make new bones, new liver, new heart, new brain, new eyes, new kidneys, new muscles, new tendons, new cartilage. And if you don't take in these things, you get arthritis and fibromyalgia and high blood pressure and heart disease and so forth. And it's one of those things where you have to constantly give your body what it needs for maintenance. So you don't have to go to the doctor every month for a B12 and an iron shot.
Correct.
You don't have to get a transfusion.
Like a daily tune-up, right? Well,
exactly.
As we sleep, body heals itself. And if you give it the raw materials, hey, kudos. So as long as you breathe. Dr. Wallach, a question here is on bee pollen. By ingesting bee pollen, Mike Willis, I believe, posted that question. Let me get to it. He feels that the bee pollen provides all 90 nutrients. Is that an accurate statement or a false statement?
No, that's crapola. Bee pollen does not, okay? Just from the simple standpoint, the nutritional minerals are not made by plants. Bees don't make nutritional minerals. Plants only need 3 minerals to make good seeds for the next generation. So that bee pollen can be 57 short. Okay, so for him to say, oh, just take bee pollen, injectable, and you get everything you need, that's not true. Okay, because plants only need 3 minerals to make good seeds for the next generation. and to grow properly. And that's why the ocean is dying. Okay, because we've dammed up the rivers with 1 million dams, Nasima, 1 million dams, okay, for electricity, okay, hydroelectric dams. And we've cut off the food supply to the ocean. That's why all the reefs are dying, because we cut off the food supply to the reefs, to the algae. And that's why the carbon dioxide is going up, not fossil fuels. That's crapola science. Fossil fuels are not the problem. I did what nobody else did. I went back 10 million years ago into amber, which is petrified pine oil or whatever it is, okay? And there were times every 10,000, 15, 20,000 years when there was spiking of carbon dioxide in the amber. There were no cars. There was no fossil fuels being used by human beings 10 million years ago.
Right.
Okay. And so what was going on? Well, I tracked that down. It was 6,000 years in between volcanic eruptions, no minerals going into the ocean. The algae couldn't break down carbon dioxide into oxygen and carbon chains. And so the carbon dioxide just kept getting more and more and more, which you'd see in this amber every 10,000 years because there were no volcanic eruptions. And so I got it all figured out. And I was one of the 5 featured speakers at the Tesla meeting last year, August 7th through 11th. As a result, we actually have my presentation, which is called, let's see here. A prescription for Mother Earth. Okay, you can go to drjwallach.com and ask for prescription to Mother Earth. And that's my presentation at the Tesla thing, showing why the carbon dioxide is going up. And it has nothing to do with fossil fuels. That's crapola science. It's like saying, oh, all the babies die of sudden death syndrome because the mothers are laying on. When I looked at it, only 2% of the babies are in bed with their mother when they died from sudden death syndrome. Okay, so Milan and I went to China. We did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 that died of a heart attack, and 200 of them under the age of 1 year would be diagnosed in America with sudden death syndrome. They were dying from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. They weren't dying because they were rolled on by their mothers, but doctors didn't know what to say, and they didn't want to say, I don't know, we'll have to look it up. So they just said, well, the mother laid on the baby. Crapola science.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. I hope that answers the question.
Yep, love your detective and exploratory work, Doc. And I want to just mention that if you are a first-time caller, please call 855-949-7234 to order any of the products. And you can also go online to shop for your books that Doc has mentioned by Dr. Wallach and his wife, Dr. Milan, on askdoclive.com. You can also get your good food, bad food list right there, and subscribe by giving your email so that you can get reminders to these meetings as well and invite others. There we go. Extraordinary Technology Conference, the newest CD that Doc has mentioned.
It's a DVD.
Yes, a DVD.
Yeah, because I show all the maps and the dams on the rivers. Okay, my presentation, and then I show the reefs that died because they dammed up those rivers that were feeding that reef.
Wow, amazing. Going to Cindy D. We have time for maybe one more question before we take. Oh, go ahead, Doc.
No, we have time for one more. Yeah.
One more question before we go on a break here. Cindy D, please unmute yourself. Cindy D, please unmute yourself. Okay, we'll come back to her when we get a chance. Going to Corey.
No, she's trying. She's trying.
Oh,
she
she's
just keeps
trying.
muting herself. Like I ask her to unmute.
Okay.
There you go, Cindy. Go for it.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth Ellen.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Doc.
Hi.
I'm 68 years old and I weigh 128 pounds and I'm 5'4". And I'm concerned because 5 years ago I was diagnosed with glaucoma. And I've been taking nutrients and eye meds, and it's still progressing.
Okay. And so, what do you have any ringing in your ears? The tinnitus?
Yes.
Okay. You have osteoporosis of the skull. And so you have ONA, optic nerve atrophy. And this is the sort of thing that I win bets with medical, eye doctors for. Okay. So at 128 pounds, I want you to get 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get rid of all the bad foods, fried foods, processed meats, oils, glutens, wheat, bran oats, and sugar. Get 1 Healthy Brain and Heart pack per month. Get an extra bottle of our selenium, not Walgreens selenium, because our selenium has other things added to it. I want you to take 3 of those twice a day. 1 bottle of the selenium comes with the Healthy Brain and Heart pack. I want you to get the MSM. Get 1 bottle of MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day, or 2, 3 times a day, for a total of 6 a day. That's going to help rebuild the skull. And then I also want you to get the vitamin D3. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also want you to get the glucogel. Get 2 bottles a month of the glucogel capsules, so you can take 5 with each meal. And I want you to get a hold of the book called It's All in Your Head, because it goes into great detail of the pathology you're suffering with the tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, and also this vision loss. Okay, your skull is squeezing the optic nerve and squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. Now, do you have anything going on in your wrists and your hands? Any tingling, numbness in your wrists, or your hands, or your arms? Yes, no?
I have, I think it's inflammation in my hands. And I kept thinking, well, it's because I typed for 30, 40 years.
No, it's because you have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord as it's coming out of the back of your skull. And so you're getting kind of like a sciatica of your shoulder girdle in your arms and your hands, just like when you have low back issues, you have sciatica of your legs. Okay, same issue. Okay, it'll all go away. Okay, give us a call every couple of weeks. You'll be a great testimony.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you, Doc. We have 1 minute to the hour. Should we go on break for about 10 minutes and be back?
Yeah, let's go on break. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes, but 5 or 6
5
anyway.
minutes? Okay, 5-minute break. We'll be back 11:05 Central Time, 9:05 Pacific Standard Time. Talk to you soon.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, wonderful. We've just got maybe 1 minute or so before we get started.
No problem.
While everybody comes back on, and many are still on, just a question here. I want to talk a little bit because I've answered a question on the chat. You do recommend using butter, ghee, or animal fats in cooking, but the key is not to turn the good thing into a bad thing. And how can we turn a good thing into a bad thing, Doc?
Well, if you overheat it or heat it for too long, it turns brown. That's bad.
That's bad.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want it turning brown. Okay. And when it comes to, for instance, like breast cancer, women who do not eat fried foods have 400% less breast cancer than women who eat fried foods. And so this is very simple stuff. You want to reduce your risk of breast cancer? Don't eat fried foods, don't eat gluten, take your 90 essential nutrients, you know, and you're going to significantly reduce your risk of cancer. It's much easier to prevent cancer than it is to treat it and cure it.
Great. We are 9:05 Central, Pacific, in 11:05 Central. So back on, going to our blue raised hand, Yuchi's iPhone. So Yuchi, please unmute yourself.
Okay, you're going to have to unmute me.
Oh, Doc, we can hear you.
Oh, you can.
We can. Yeah, we can hear you. And Yuchi is unmuted. So go ahead, Yuchi, please ask your question.
Okay. Good afternoon or good evening. This is Uche from Nigeria. I just started feeling this last week. If I stand up from the bed, I will start having dizziness, drowsiness, as if I'm falling down.
Okay.
When I turn to the other side too, as I'm sleeping, if I turn one side to the other, or I will also be feeling that.
How old are you, Uchi?
52.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
127 pounds.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5.2.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any other issues? Any high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
No, I don't have any issue of diabetes but the only issue I have now is my blood pressure is going up and down. It's fluctuating.
Okay, so a
It
little
will,
bit of high blood
it will
pressure.
go
Okay,
down to 90. Yeah.
a little bit of high blood pressure and this dizziness when you get up out of bed. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull and you are deficient in certain nutrients. So at 127 pounds, you must get rid of the bad food. No fried food, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, and no sugar. And then at 127 pounds, I would have you take one healthy brain and heart pack per month, one healthy brain and heart pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I would also get the MSM, one bottle a month, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. That's going to help rebuild the skull. I want you to also get our glucogel to help rebuild the skull. Get 2 bottles a month of the glucogel, so you can take 5 of those capsules 3 times a day. And then, let's see, he's had a little bit of blood pressure issues, you said. So I'd also get the, at the early stages here, you don't want to wait until you have a stroke or something. You're getting a warning, so let's deal with it now. You want to get the 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So you can take 3 of those twice a day. And it will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through even blocked arteries in the brain and the heart and the kidneys and so forth. And so give us a call every couple of weeks. You can start right now. It's going to take a little while for us to get product out there if you don't have a source out there right now. You can get rid of the bad foods instantly. You know, box up all the bad foods, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, wheat, butter, rye. Don't say, well, I'll just eat all this and won't buy any more. No, box it up and give all the bad foods to your doctor.
I don't take all those fried food.
Okay, good. Excellent.
For quite more than all those foods. I don't take them for more than 10 years now. I don't take them.
Okay. Well, everybody in your household's got to eat the same way, because if they're eating that way, then you're getting cross-contaminated in the laundry and the food preparation surfaces. So you got to watch about for contamination, okay? And of course, the COVID thing is running around now, so don't forget the hand sanitizer and our colloidal silver.
And you know, Doc, that reminds me, Youngevity has just come out with a new product for the hand sanitizer wipes. And I love them because I keep them in my purse when I do essential runs, which I'm trying to stay home more, or keep in the car or wipe the doorknob.
Nasima, you're going to have to shut off these other people because I'm hearing 16 people talking. When you're trying to talk, I can't hear you.
Okay. Yuchi, please, I'm muting you. Your phone was unmuted. Everyone, Yuchi, I believe you were done. Did you have any additional questions? Yeah, Doc says you were done. Okay. So next question, Joanne. You've got your blue hand raised. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
There you are.
Hi.
Where are you
thank
from?
You for taking my question today.
Where are you from?
I am from Seattle, Washington.
Oh.
Dr. Wallach, you got muted somehow.
Yeah, I can't hear Dr. Wallach.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Seattle, Washington.
Okay. And how much you weigh and how old are you?
I am 70. I weigh 126 and I'm 5'3", and I take no prescription medications, but I take a lot of supplements.
Okay. So why are you calling today?
I am concerned about my thyroid actually, because my hair is thinning and I feel cold, and you know, I'm trying, I don't like Western medicine very well, so I prefer the natural, more Eastern stuff.
Okay, so here we go. 2 things you need to do. Number 1, stay away from the bad stuff.
Yes.
So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rye, no sugar, but also you need to stay away from cruciferous vegetables, which destroy the thyroid gland. Cruciferous vegetables. We're talking about cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Got to stay away from those. Then secondly, you got to supplement properly. And at 126 pounds, I would take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get an extra bottle of the Youngevity Selenium. Has all these cofactors added to it.
Selenium.
Now, wait a minute. Listen to me. Our selenium has all these cofactors added to it. Don't just run to Walgreens. Okay. And then you in our healthy brain and heart pack, there's 1 bottle of selenium, but I want you to get another one, because your thyroid gland loves these cofactors. in our selenium. So I want you to take 3 of our selenium at breakfast and 3 at dinner time. And then I also want you to take 2 bottles a month of our Ocean's Gold. Take 3 of those twice a day, 3 twice a day, the Ocean's Gold. And the Ocean's Gold is seaweed and algae and kelp and all that kind of stuff that's been dried and ground up. And I take 3 of those twice a day myself. Plus I take 3 of our longevity selenium twice a day because it has all the cofactors in it as well as the selenium. And so again, you know, I'm 82 years old and have never had any thyroid issues and that sort of stuff. And, you know, you do have to stay away from the bad stuff, which includes the cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale. You can eat nice salads without cabbage, okay, and kale. There's all kinds of great salads. You can have wonderful pizza that's got gluten-free crust, okay. They're made from cauliflower, which is safe, okay. And so go ahead and you can, you know, eat pizza. I put extra cheese and I put extra onions and chili peppers, and I throw anchovies on there and ground beef and mushrooms and stuff like that. And so I do that about 3 days a week for either lunch or dinner. And so, you know, we have tea available. We have our Rebound sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. So you don't have to have a boring life, and your thyroid recovers very quickly. That was my first scientific paper I ever wrote. I was only 21 years old, and I was given 50 bodies. There was a mass die-off in America from pollution, and I got 50 bodies, made the diagnoses and everything, got it written up in 2 scientific journals. And from that came a $25 million grant, which got me my postdoctoral fellowship, which is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. So I'm very hooked to thyroid issues.
I have one quick question. I saw that in one of your books, it mentions hair, you know,
hair analysis.
Going on with hair. Is there anything, because I am concerned about the thinning hair, that I should be doing, or will these, if I start these supplements, will that indeed help with that?
Oh, absolutely. We have one specifically for the hair. It's called Hair, Skin, and Nails. You can add to your program. Take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. And you can do a hair analysis. Go to chapter 11. Okay, you look in the index. Yeah, chapter 11 in the book Rare Earths and Cures. And just go to the index and it'll tell you what page to go look at. It tells you how to collect the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it to. Don't forget to put the check in there because they won't run it without the check. And within a couple of weeks, you get the results back and you find out what minerals are low and if you're even absorbing. To me, that's the most important information you get from hair analysis. There's bars for nutrients. And if all the bars are below the bottom line, you're not absorbing. That's just real simple. You don't even need to be able to read. You just look at that and say, oh my gosh, there's no bars above the bottom line. That means you're not absorbing. Sometimes, or most of the time, people will have bars all over the place and some of them will be particularly low. So in addition to getting rid of the bad foods and taking the 90 essential nutrients, you want to take certain individual nutrients, and the hair analysis will tell you how to do that. But don't forget, we do have a product called Hair, Skin, and Nails. You can take 3 of those along with your Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, your MSM, your Ocean's Gold also has things in it your hair likes. Okay, the selenium, some of the cofactors are just fantastic for hair. If you have any white, gray, or silver hair, the hair color will come back. You don't need to artificially color your hair.
I don't color my hair, but wow, that's interesting though. Wow. I've talked to Rebecca and you're very helpful, and I listened to you on Coast to Coast, and I thank you so much for your time today.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, George is a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead and mute yourself again. That would be wonderful. Have a question now going to the chats from Corey. He had his hand up for a while, but had some tech difficulties there. So 5 feet 2 inches, 135 pounds, age 58. I don't know what this means. It says enter ears get plugged. I guess the entry of the ears get plugged in the summer and winter reduces his hearing way down. What can be done? He only has hearing in one ear. He does take the 90 essential nutrients.
Okay, well, Corey has osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, And so he needs to get a hold of the book. It's all in your head. And he needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no sugar. And then at 135 pounds, again, I'd have him take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of our selenium with the cofactors in it, take 3 of those selenium twice a day, a half a dose of everything else twice a day. I'd have him get 1 bottle of our MSM, so he can take 3 of those twice a day. Then he needs 2 bottles a month of the vitamin D3, so he can take 3 of those twice a day. And he needs 2 bottles a month of our glucogel, so he can take 5 with each meal, rebuild the skull, take the pressure off the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. Okay, and he probably has other things going on there. At age 58, with osteoporosis of the skull, he might have sciatica. He might have degenerative disc disease. He may have shrunk and he's got tingling and numbness in his hands and you know, all kinds of stuff. He might have AFib or fast heart rate. And it's kind of funny, people won't mention things like that. They won't mention the fact that they have high blood pressure or diabetes and stuff like that. I want to get my hearing back in my right ear. And so I'm just throwing all that in because when you have osteoporosis of the skull, those things all go along with it because the skull is squeezing those spinal cord and also the cranial nerves that are appropriate. Okay, Nasima.
Thank you, Doc. I muted myself. Sorry about that. Next question, initial BO by person BO and reading. I was diagnosed with mild carpal tunnel syndrome in my right wrist, and I had a fall in my house back in 2015, and I missed the last 2 steps on the staircase. I fell down on my stomach and I started having some buzzing like vibration sensations in my chest area. I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed with myositis, M-Y-O-S-I-T-I-S. That buzzing sensation was in my back, and then I started having it under the bottom of my feet. So Dr. Wallach, what is causing this annoying feeling in my chest, back, and under the bottom of my feet? I also have some mild tremble that has been going on as well.
Okay, we don't know how much this guy weighs, so we're going to go
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to go by 100 pounds of body weight, per 100 pounds of body weight, okay? So, yeah, he's got osteoporosis of the skull. Myositis is inflammation of the muscles, could be fibromyalgia kind of stuff. He's got carpal tunnel stuff going on, okay? And so this is very typical. Again, we don't know how old he is, okay, but the odds are he's over 20. Okay, so he needs his, it's all in your head. And then he needs to take per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, 1 bottle of the MSM, so he can take 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight, 2 bottles a month of the vitamin D3, so he can take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. He needs glucogel, 1 bottle of glucogel per 100 pounds of body weight, so he can take 3 or 4 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. If he weighs 150 pounds, he needs to get 2 bottles, so he can take 5 3 times a day. And stay away from all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, and oats. And stay away from prednisone and cortisone because they'll make it worse. Initially, you'll feel better and the pain goes away. And I love my doctor, it's wonderful. But you'll wind up with a double knee replacement and you may be paralyzed from the neck down and all that kind of stuff if you take prednisone and cortisone. Okay. You're muted again.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Sorry about that. Next question from Jolyn. You've got your blue hand raised. Please unmute yourself and ask your question to Dr. Wallach. Jolyn Fitzgerald.
Yes, thank you, Doc Wallach, for what you do. And thanks.
Well, thank you.
Coast to coast, yes. I have written in the chat, and I'll just reread that if I can find it real quick. But I'm a cancer survivor. I'm going in for a 2nd round of radiation for a very small part of cancer. They did a surgery about a month ago. I'm 73, 5'2", 130. Feel good. Don't even know I have cancer. My hair fell out, but it all came back. and I have a little bit of lung breathing. I don't know if it's heart or, but all of my blood tests that I've been going through the last 2 or 3 years always show they can't believe there's anything wrong with me. They're always where they should be. They're outstanding. My colonoscopy, the doctor said I had the cleanest colon he had ever seen in all of his work. He said at any age. Now I contribute that to liver and colon cleanses. I started that 25 years ago. And I also do coffee enemas, probably once or twice a month to clean the colon. I've listened to you, I've stopped gluten, I've stopped sugar. I am on somebody else's, 90 essential nutrients. And chondroitin and MSM. I did come out with neuropathy from the chemo in my feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the first thing that I want to share with you, Jolynn, is you should run for politics. If your colon is that clean.
Yeah, I've been told that, but not for the colon reason. You're welcome. No, I'm healthy. And I will say my mother is 95. She's been in good health all her life and has done all the wrong things, I'm sorry to say. But she has dementia, started 20 years ago, and she is kind of housebound. But she is 95 and kicking. And her doctor says she's going to live to 112. So, yeah, I think there is something to genes, don't you? Okay, here. Yeah.
Doc,
Yeah, you were muted. What's wrong?
Doc, we can't hear you, Doc.
Stop muting me.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. No, I like Wranglers myself. Okay. And so those are the only jeans I like is Wranglers.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, so at any rate, yeah, I want you to get a hold of the book Epigenetics and the CD set, Epigenetics, the Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. My thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure for 20,000 autopsies, in which I prove there are no genetic diseases. There are no genetically transmitted birth defects.
Wow.
That's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute. Okay.
Okay.
20,000 autopsies. So don't talk to me about genes. There ain't no such thing.
Eye
color, yes. Boy, girl, yes.
Yeah.
That's about it. Okay.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right.
Now,
Okay.
I've also been diagnosed with sciatica and herniated disc.
Okay. So very good. Thank you for telling me that.
And
all right. So
stenosis.
Spinal stenosis. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it all goes together. So
Yeah.
anyway, 130 pounds. I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, no sugar. And then at 130 pounds, I want you, because you have all these issues, I would have you take 2 of the healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose, everything twice a day. I'd also get 1 bottle of the MSM, so you can take 3 of those twice a day, or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. I want you to get the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also want you to get the glucogel, get 5 3 times a day. That's 2 bottles a month of the capsules. And if you want, you can also get the collagen peptides and take a dose of that a day. Help regrow your disc and your bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons and so forth. Now, to support your immune system for any reason, including, degenerative diseases like cancer, to support your immune system, we like the Fucoid Z capsules and the Z radical liquid, which has the fucoidin in it. We love the pollen burst. Okay, it's either in powder or capsules because it has the SOD superoxide dismutase in it. We also like the Cell Shield RTQ, okay, for resveratrol, turmeric, and quercetin. And all those things support your immune system. And the biggest hammer we have in our toolbox for the immune system is our BTT 2.0 tablets, which are not interchangeable with the BTT 2.0 powder. The BTT 2.0 powder is vitamins and minerals. The BTT 2.0 tablets are antioxidants, and also they support the immune system. Okay. Wow. So take 3 of those twice a day. And so, especially since you're, being treated for cancer. And, let's have you, let's see, right now you're 73. Let's have you live to be 112 too. Give us a call every couple of weeks. Okay. give us a call every couple of weeks. And, anytime you get a report from the doctor, give us a call. We'll walk through this with you, okay?
Did you happen to write those down? Because I didn't, and I can't remember all of that.
Thank you. You can always listen to the recording of this meeting by going to askdoclive.com. You can
Okay.
find the recordings for this meeting and all the prior meetings, and you can also pause, rewind, fast forward, and make your notes as you like. Okay, and if you are not on longevity products yet, you can, and you're a first-time caller, you can call our phone team at 855-949-7234 to order products. Before we go to the next question, Doc, I think this is a good point in time to bring up the Z radical and the power of fucoid Z, particularly in health support of immune system and if you have, battled certain conditions.
Sure. Okay, well, fucoid Z, the capsules, and Z radical, the liquid, okay, the fucoidin that's in them is a very unique support of the immune system. And it comes from a brown seaweed, sea algae, okay? And so it's one of those things where for thousands of years, some of the greatest healers, who were, again, apostles and they were prophets and the magi and the wise men, they would dry seaweed and give those to people and heal them of various things because of all the minerals in there and the antioxidants and stuff. And one of the strongest is the fucoidin, which comes out of this brown seaweed, okay? And this is a great product. We have it both in the liquid form, the Z radical, and then we have it in the capsule form called fucoid Z. And I take 3 of the capsules twice a day, and I take an ounce of the liquid twice a day in my juju drink, okay? Which juju, that's what the witch doctors in Africa call their secret medicine. So I call my drink my juju. Okay. And so at any rate, it's one of those things where in today's world, with all the pollution from factories and fuels and this, that, and the other, and then also from cooking and from damming up the rivers, and we're not getting all the minerals we used to get. You can be eating the same recipe your grandmother ate for all your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she lived to be 114. You're not going to live to be 114 if you're eating the same recipe she used, because back when grandmother was around, she was putting wood ashes from her stove into the garden, and wood ashes are minerals, not carbon. When you burn the tree, the minerals don't burn, and you take that pile of powder, which are the minerals that the tree had sucked up out of the ground, you put them in your garden and you eat your carrots. Those carrots will have the minerals that the tree had in it based on where the tree grew. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. The only way you can guarantee you're going to get all 90 essential nutrients, including all 60 essential minerals, is to supplement every day. Now, that's what we learned in agriculture. Now, you notice we don't have health insurance for cows and sheep and goats and chickens and ducks and turkeys and things like that, and pigs. We don't have health insurance for them. And that's because we give them all these vitamins and minerals to get rid of all the diseases that debilitate us and kill us and so forth. If we weren't giving them all these vitamins and minerals, a steak would be $400 a pound to pay for all the ones that died from all the mineral deficiencies. Okay. And so because we're giving them all these nutrients, your steak could be a couple of bucks a pound, and a dozen eggs is $1.49 per dozen or whatever it is. It's very economical because the number of deaths and illnesses in farm animals is almost zero because we are supplementing them. And of course, that's how I learned about muscular dystrophy. In calves, when they're born and they can't walk, they have what's called white muscle disease, which is called muscular dystrophy in humans. Okay. And white muscle disease, when you cut the calf open to cook him as veal, the muscles are all white like bread instead of red like muscle. Okay. Because it's all connective tissue. And in human beings, it'd be called muscular dystrophy. So I said, well, why not try using, what we do in animals to get rid of the white muscle disease and muscular dystrophy. And we did that. And a Navy SEAL by the name of Marvin worked with me in the Amish community, and we pretty much eliminated muscular dystrophy in the Amish community. We gave, about a dozen charts to Jerry Lewis in 2011 that had all these kids that were cured of their muscular dystrophy. And he got so excited, he took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis in 2011. They fired him before he walked out the door when he brought them the cure for 11 kids. And then by 2015, they had to shut down the telethon because they couldn't raise, even though he had raised $2 billion in the 20 years he'd been doing the telethon. As soon as they fired him, they couldn't raise a penny. So in 2015, they shut down the telethon. And if you call the Muscular Dystrophy Association today and say, hey, whatever happened to Jerry Lewis? They say, well, we have one of those, do not tell legal agreements with Jerry Lewis. We can't tell what happened there. Well, that's because they fired him.
That's
for bringing them the cure, for muscular dystrophy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Doc. We have one more question with the raised hand, and then we'll just focus on going in turn, getting to everyone's questions that are posted in the chat.
Okay.
And if you don't get to your questions, then know that we'll address it next meeting or send us an email. Christine, please unmute yourself. Christine, MBAJA.
Thank you. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Christine. How can we help you?
I have a client weighing 147 pounds. He's 40 years old. He's already on 90 essentials, but he's asking for remedy for white hair. I can't hear. You're muted, Doc.
Doc, you're muted again.
There we go. That better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, white hair is caused by a deficiency of a single nutrient. Do you know if he has any varicose veins in his legs or any hemorrhoids?
No.
Okay. Let's see. He weighs 147. Yeah. So he needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, no sugar. And then at 147 pounds, I'd have him take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. Get the MSM, so he can get 3 of those twice a day, 1 bottle a month. And again, stay away from the bad stuff. But the secret sauce for the deficiency that results in white hair, varicose veins, spider veins, aneurysms, those kind of things. Also cartilage problems, ligament problems, connective tissue problems, wrinkles in the skin. Okay. It'll all go away. Okay. Like I say, I'm 82 years old and, I don't have any wrinkles whatsoever. I don't have any gray hair. I'm in good shape. I can take on 5 people at one time by myself if necessary. Okay. And so, what we want him to do is take a picture now and then take a picture of himself in a month, take a picture at 3 months and see what happens, how much of that gray hair goes away.
Is there anything that can be applied directly also on the hair?
Well, yeah, you can go to any grocery store or any pharmacy and get hair color. It's not gonna,
No. He doesn't like hair color. He just wanted to tan naturally.
No, you can't get from any place else that we have for that. Okay, you have to contact us.
Okay, thank you. Another question we have, please mute yourself again. Another question we have is from Cindy about glaucoma. Cindy, if you're available, please unmute yourself and ask your question. She's got glaucoma in both eyes.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead with glaucoma.
Yeah.
Okay, he has pressure in the eye. So 1 per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month. Go ahead and get 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month per 100 pounds of body weight. Get the pressure in the blood system down. But also she needs the MSM, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight, because it could be osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the optic nerve and also the artery that feeds the blood into the back of the eye, as well as the vein bringing the blood back into the skull from the eye. And so glaucoma is a secondary thing to osteoporosis of the skull and also artery disease. Don't forget to get rid of the bad foods, fried foods, processed meats, oils, and gluten, wheat, butter, and oats. But these eye diseases, I won a lot of bets with eye doctors by taking people who are legally blind 6, 8, 10, 12 years And again, all these stories are in this CD set, which is available now. It's a 2 CD set, disc 1 and disc 2 is called the Wallach Corpus. The Wallach Corpus, those are available now. Contact your Youngevity associate and get the Wallach Corpus. And blindness, high blood pressure, heart disease, arthritis, dementias, kidney failure on dialysis, all of that kind of stuff, diabetes goes away because they're all nutritional deficiencies, even though the doctors want to tell you they're genetic, they're not genetic. Well, it's in 5 generations in the family. Well, 5 generations in the family, you live in the same place, the soil is deficient in the same nutrients 100 years ago as it is now, plus you're eating the same recipes for 5 generations. That's why you have these diseases for 5 generations. It's not genetic.
Thank you, Doc. Cindy, also just more information I found over here, toggling through the comments here. She's 68, 128, 5 feet 5 inches, and she says she's tried eye meds and vitamins, but and nothing is helping. So I want to talk about our quality of Youngevity supplements, Doc. Why Youngevity?
Well, Youngevity, first of all, just one big statement is that we're the only ones that have 90 essential nutrients in our basic program, the Healthy Start Pack. Okay, when you go to a pharmacy or watch TV and they say, buy our vitamins and minerals, complete nutrition, I only have 27 nutrients in there. That's not even a third of the 90 essential nutrients. So when somebody says we have total nutrition, okay, because we have 27 nutrients in our product, that's not true. You require 90, and 27 are not even a third of the 90. And so that's what makes ours different. We're the only ones that have all 90 in the basic program, the Healthy Start Pack. And then we have secret sauces for 600 different diseases. Now that's important, okay, because it's not unusual for people to have pre-existing conditions once they hit 40, 50 years old. They'll have arthritis, high blood pressure, diabetes, they'll have lupus, they'll have kidney failure and they're on dialysis. They'll have lower back problems and sciatica. They will have thyroid problems, all in the same person, okay? Because their villi are dead in their intestines because they have eaten gluten all their life. They can't absorb nutrients and they're not supplementing. And so they have 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. I've seen people with 25 different diseases, pre-existing conditions, which are all nutritional deficiencies. You get them off the bad foods, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, you get them on the 90 essential nutrients, plus the secret sauces for each of their problems, and it all goes away in 60 to 90 days. But these are the people who will have a severe reaction to COVID. These are the ones who are going to be in the hospital on ventilators. These are the ones who are going to die of COVID when they have all these pre-existing conditions, which are all nutritional deficiency diseases because they're eating gluten and their intestines are dead. And again, the medical system has not changed in 2,300 years since the Hippocratic Corpus came out in 350 BC. And so I came out with the Wallach Corpus, which is available now, okay? It goes into about, I don't know, 15 health issues that are said to be genetic that aren't. Okay, simple nutritional deficiency diseases, the Wallach Corpus. We're changing everything, not because of ego, because I'm, have an ego problem, but because nothing has changed in 2,300 years. It's time that Hippocrates retires and Wallach is stepping up and taking the position.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Have a question from S4. Please, would you explain why leading brands of probiotics require refrigeration, but Youngevity's does not? Thank you.
Okay. Well, people forget that when you have a pure blend of probiotics, which are bacteria and yeast and all that kind of stuff, the good guys, when you dehydrate them, okay, through freeze drying, they're sterile and they don't need anything. But if you just sort of dry them and they still have some residue of their base that they were grown on, it can go bad. And so when they say it requires refrigeration, that means that they're not very clean.
Thank you, Doc. Question from Elizabeth L. Weight 238 pounds, height 4 feet 11 inches, have high blood pressure, glaucoma, age 67.
Okay, 67 years old, 4'11". I'm assuming she's shrunk a little bit, okay? And she's 67 years old, 238 pounds. She's obviously 100 and she's 138 pounds overweight. 4'11". I'd like to see her weigh 90 pounds, okay? She might be 148 pounds overweight. So none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar. And then I want her to have 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, so she can take 3 of those twice a day to support healthy blood pressure and blood flow. And then because she's 148 pounds overweight, I want her to get 2 of her 3 meals a day, the keto caramel meals. It could be the bar or the shake. It can't be both at the same meal. It'll defeat the purpose. Doesn't have to be the same meals every day. And some days, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she could have both meals be the shake. On Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, it could be both meals be the bar. Or it could be one day the shake in the bar, the next day the bar, the next day the shake in the bar, and so on. Okay, but 2 meals a day. She'll lose a half pound to 2 pounds a day, and maybe within 4 to 6 months she'll be down to 90 pounds where she needs to be. But she needs to take all these nutrients, okay, and all her problems will go away, including the weight and the high blood pressure and the glaucoma. I want her also to take, well, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets will help there, but I also want her to take the, let's see here, the Vision FX. She can go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. It'll be 2 bottles a month. And let's start there.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Have another question. And this is from Ralph Fisher for his wife, 66 years of age, 5 feet 5 inches, 72 kilograms, which would be about 159 pounds, and has been 5 years on dialysis. Unfortunately, he doesn't provide any more information.
That's okay. Okay, now when you're on dialysis,
I unmuted him.
He's
Okay.
unmuted. Okay, now let's see here. What's this gentleman's name again?
Ralph.
Ralph, are you there?
Hello,
Ralph,
can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Now,
Okay,
Ralph,
great.
is
Hi,
this
Doc.
you or is this you or
Well,
your
for
wife is
my-
on dialysis?
My wife is.
Okay, stop right there. Stop. Is she on dialysis 3 days a week or 6 days a week?
3 days?
Okay, so she is urinating.
No, she is not.
Okay, so does she have high blood pressure?
She has low blood pressure and she has some, what you call it, heart arrhythmia.
Okay, it could be atrial fibrillation or tachycardia. Did they give it a
Oh,
name?
ATF.
Okay.
Atrial fib.
Yeah,
AFib.
AFib. Okay, yeah. Does she have any ringing in her ears?
She doesn't complain about that, no.
What about balance problems?
She did have a fall down the stairs and she kind of broke a little bit of her neck on the second vertebra. There's this knob that connects
okay.
to the...
Okay, well, let's stop there. Okay, so she weighs 159 pounds and she has AFib, which is osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story after I give you the answer here. Got to watch my time. The answer for her is that 159 pounds is none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar. She needs to take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month, 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs per month. I want her to take 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 9 a day, 3 with each meal. I also want her to get 9 a day of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 with each meal. That's 3 bottles a month. And they will support healthy blood pressure and also healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Okay, and the dialysis thing is very interesting. I've taken people who have not urinated in 10 years. They're on dialysis 6 days a week. We put them on this exact same program, And in 2 weeks' time, they're urinating. So they reduced it from 6 days a week to 3 days a week. And then in 4 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis after a total of 25 years on dialysis. Okay. So you can expect a good result here. All right. Now I'm going to tell you about this AFib. Again, that's caused by osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which controls the rate and rhythm of the heart. Does she ever get bouts of hiccups or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's also caused by a squeezing of the recurrent branch of the 10th cranial nerve, which controls the diaphragm, causing hiccups. And then you say she has the low back stuff. She's, she got the sciatica stuff, right?
Not so much. She does have this. She's trying to heal that second vertebra.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Again, none of the bad stuff. No fried foods. No processed meats. No oils. No gluten. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Full dose of everything twice a day. 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. So you can take 3 with each meal. That's going to support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow into the kidneys. When you have kidney failure, it's usually not because of anything wrong with the kidney, but the arteries that carry the dirty blood into the kidneys are blocked. Okay. And that's what happened there. Now the AFib, this is where the MSM is going to help. Vitamin D3, I wanted to have 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I also wanted to have 2 bottles a month of the glucogel capsules. So you can take 5, 3 times a day, rebuild the disc between her vertebrae and also her vertebrae, the second vertebrae and so forth. The AFib goes away, the hiccups go away, the blood pressure stabilizes, and she should be able to significantly reduce the amount of dialysis she requires or even totally get off of it. So give us a call every couple of weeks. This is going to be a great testimony because she has, and of course the hiccups will go away very quickly, okay, because it's the recurrent branch of the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed. And that results in the bouts of hiccups, very common when you have this issue. But also, it goes away. I mean, I deal with literally thousands of patients each year with these problems. And the bad story, of course, is there was a guy by the name of, let's see here, he is a U.S. congressman from Baltimore, Maryland. Elijah Cummings was his name, 68 years old, and he had atrial fibrillation. He goes to the medical school, okay, in Baltimore, Maryland. He goes to the medical school there, right? And they say, okay, you got AFib. We're going to do an ablation. We're going to kill part of your heart muscle here. So they anesthetize him. Okay, they cut his chest open, touch his heart with a heated soldering iron, and they kill him. Okay, as soon as they touched his heart with that heated soldering iron, he dies. Okay, and Elijah Cummings was his name. And he'd been a congressman in Baltimore, Maryland. He was congressman for, I don't know, 35 years. Okay. And he went to Johns Hopkins, his famous medical school, and they killed him. Okay. If he'd have come to us and he'd have done our program, which we've recommended for your wife, guess what? He'd still be alive today and he would not have AFib anymore because, we get rid of that. It's very easy to get rid of when you're treating the right thing. So give us a call every couple of weeks if you would. Let us know how wifey's doing because it's going to be a great testimony to share with others. We appreciate it.
So doctor, the AFib is connected with the
10th cranial nerve.
Okay, so the heart and brain supplement is crucial.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Doc.
Do we have a minute for mine?
Go ahead.
It's up to, okay, go ahead. The boss says go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I'm 67, 220, 5'9", and I have some diabetes, and I have some prostate, and I have some eye issues. I had some flashy floater things, and I went to the optometrist to see if my retina was detached. He said no, but there's something the tissue that connects to the eye is kind of torn away. So I have these floaters.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 67.
Yeah. Okay. You got very similar stuff with your wife. Okay. When you have floaters, it's kind of like dandruff on your skull. Floaters are dandruff in your eye. Okay. So right. The surface cells are falling off and so forth. Okay. So you can do exactly the same thing your wife does because you're about the same weight. So do exactly the same thing she's doing. Both of you do the same thing. And then call me in 2 weeks. Let me know how you're doing, how she's doing. It'll be very interesting to see whose the speed at which you recover for each of these issues is related to how diligent you are in avoiding the bad stuff and taking the good stuff. Okay.
And I'm getting the eye doctor wants me to have cataract surgery, and I don't want to do that.
Well, don't do it yet.
Okay.
In the earliest stages of cataracts, they're reversible. There is a
Okay.
stage at which we can stop them from progressing, but we can't make them go away. And then there is a stage at which your lens looks like a mothball. Then you either accept being, significantly reduced eye vision, and have to wear glasses and not get much out of it, or getting a cataract operation in one or both
So should I
eyes.
have a certain supplement for my cataracts?
Well, I told you, take exactly the same thing we recommended for your
okay.
wife.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear
It
you.
helps. Okay, it helps hearing and memory too. Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
The more
Okay.
the better. Thanks so much,
Yes.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Go ahead and mute yourself, Ralph. We have about 8 minutes left. I do want to invite everybody who are first-time customers to please call 855-949-7234 or go online to askdoclive.com. We have specials going on a special Z-Radical bundle, which Dr. Wallach has mentioned today, and call and find out more. We'll take as many questions before we end the call in about 8 minutes. And Dr. Wallach is holding up the Z-Radical, a fantastic liquid product. It also has a capsule called Fucoid Z. Again, please subscribe to AskDocLive.com. Provide your email. That way you'll get reminders to the future calls. And if you're an existing customer or distributor, please circle back to your upline or to corporate longevity office. Also, please, everybody, encourage friends to join this meeting and family members to join this meeting as well. Let it grow. We are looking for crusaders for Dr. Wallach. Join our team as a distributor and make some money as well along the way and get your products for free. Who knows? It's not easy, but you can do it if you put your mind to it. Question from KP Parrish. 172 pounds, age 72, ischemia, heart disease with atrial fib due to Agent Orange.
Okay, I'd bet crapola on the Agent Orange thing. I bet osteoporosis of the skull for the AFib. Okay, and so this person weighs how much? Nasima?
172 pounds.
Okay, so none of the bad stuff, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, iron, oats, no sugar. Then 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day, because they have osteoporosis of the skull, causing the AFib, may even have degenerative disc disease. It's another secondary cause of AFib, squeezing the first 4 thoracic spinal nerves as well as the 10th cranial nerve. So we want the MSM. I'd go ahead and get 2 bottles of the MSM, so they can take 3 times a day. I'd also get the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. The glucogel, 15 capsules a day, 5, 5, and 5. That's 2 bottles a month. And then, let's see, did I hear diabetes or anything like that?
Let me go back. I lost that question there. No, ischemia, heart disease with atrial fib due to Agent.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's the crapola piece. I think it's either osteoporosis of the skull and or degenerative disc disease where they've shrunk in height and the vertebrae are squeezing the first 4 thoracic vertebrae, which can also control the rate and rhythm of the heart as well as the 10th cranial nerve. And so don't forget the MSM, vitamin D3, the glucogel, as well as 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. I would also, because ischemia means there's not enough blood supply getting to the heart. And so additionally, I would throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, get 2 bottles a month of those. So you can take 3 twice a day. It'll support healthy blood flow through the coronary arteries into the heart, as well as support healthy blood pressure. And these things respond very quickly. The body responds very quickly to these nutrients. And just remember, these are not genetic things. They don't happen because of your age, probably not happening from Agent Orange, but because the doctor doesn't know what to tell them, people, scout around. Well, I spent time in the military And, you know, maybe it was the Agent Orange that they were using back then as a, you know, defoliant and all that kind of stuff for areas we were doing operations in. And I spent 7 years in the Army and Army Reserves. I spent 20 years in the Air Force and the Air Force Reserves. So I know the military, and they can, you know, do good things. They can do bad things, but we love them. And of course, a couple of days ago was just Veterans Day, and we just love all of our veterans. But if you want to get rid of Agent Orange out of your body, don't forget, this is where this sort of stuff comes in. Okay, the fucoid Z radical, and it helps your liver detoxify. It's a wonderful product made out of brown algae and brown sea plants.
Wonderful, wonderful. Doc, we have just 3 minutes. What do you think? One more or?
Well, no, let me give a little summary here, if I may, because you've done such a wonderful job, Nasima. Let me take the last 3 minutes and give a little summary.
Thank you.
And of course, right now, you know, nobody wants to go sit in a doctor's waiting room for a half hour with 20 people coughing on you with the COVID. Okay. And you know, getting diagnosed is, you can go to a pharmacy now. They have a little 5-minute test now. You don't have to wait 3 days to get the results. And I urge you to get a hold of our, you know, you can go look through our books, the drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. Look at our books and CDs and DVDs. Our newest CD set that goes along with the book Epigenetics, and also it's also called the CD set Epigenetics, but this CD set is called the Wallach Corpus and replaces the Hippocratic Corpus, which came out 2,300 years ago. It's time to change the philosophy of medicine. Everything that they don't know what causes it, they blame on genetics. Okay. And everything that could be treated in weeks and gotten rid of in weeks with nutrition, they want to put you on some kind of machine like dialysis and milk you like a cow, milk your insurance policy like a cow for 20 years. Well, if you can get off of dialysis in 6 weeks, why would you want to go to dialysis for 16 years? Okay, so you want to get a hold of this new CD set, okay, called the Wallach Corpus, goes into all this stuff. It's available now as we speak, and it'll blow your mind, the things that we know. How come doctors don't tell you this? Well, because they have 3 sons in college and there's tuition due. Okay, does that make sense, Nasima?
Absolutely, Doc. Thank you so much. And I second you. I want to thank all our veterans and thank you for your service to us. Thank you, everybody, for attending today's call. Know that you can go to Ask Doc Live to listen to the recordings of this meeting and also the previous meetings. Take notes, share with family. You can order books from there. Subscribe to get emails, get your good food, bad food list. And of course, you first-time customers and distributors, you can call our phone team at 855-949-7234. We have that rebound effect. Dr. Wallach is holding up.
Yeah, Nasima, everybody needs to rebound.
Everybody needs it. Yes, replace all the nutrients, working out or whatnot, or not working out, replace them. And a special thank you to Dr. Joel Wallach for giving us your time, the best gift of your knowledge, and sharing all this wealth of information. And you do it with such passion. You care about everyone's health. Thank you. We salute you.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Nasima. You did a great job today, and very proud of you. How long have you been with Youngevity?
I have been with Youngevity now 10 years, going on 11.
Okay.
11 years,
well, I give you an A++, dear.
Thank you, Doc. And a special thanks to John T. McCullough and Ruth Ellen Sanchez. Rebecca was out today on a retreat, is why I'm filling in for her. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, safe, and healthy day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.